Today's show is a full-on celebration, a testament that when you have a dream, you have to act on it. It is also an applaud that there is a need to tell our triumphant stories as Africans. On October 17th, we became an award-winning show. We won first place honors as the Community Awards Best News Show. We are beyond excited and grateful for such recognition. In addition to celebrating our award, we have a great show ahead of us. A performance from two inspirational artists and a chat with a creative entrepreneur as we explore the theme, what does it mean to be a creative in the diaspora? Stay tuned for a mind-blowing episode. We will be right back.
Many hands to build a healthy life. Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is possible with the support of my community. Join the Voices for Recovery. Visible, vocal, valuable.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Africans are everywhere and are making waves. Time to end the negative narrative and tell our own story. Africans are not made up of the single-story negative narrative and image the media has portrayed for decades. There are over 200 million people of African descent throughout the world living outside of Africa, known as the African Diaspora. The diaspora has a role to play because rebranding Africa is going to require a collective effort. This is Africa's Triumph series, where we tell the trial-to-triumph story of people of African descent. We profile the trailblazers, movers and shakers, business personalities, and change-makers of the diaspora. An interview series to inspire the African and cosmopolitan millennial to keep pushing for that next level.
Welcome back. Africa's Triumph is a show where we uncover some of the continent's best at the top of their fields. I'm your host, Adedayo Fashanu. And on this episode, I have a guest co-host who I'm excited about. Jackson Muneza Vunganyi is a multimedia reporter, broadcaster, and digital media producer. He is the famous host of Upfront, a youth-oriented talk show on The Voice of America. Each week, Upfront reaches millions of young adults and students on the African continent and beyond. So I'm really happy to be hosting this episode with you, Jackson.
Thank you,
and
Adedayo.
thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me.
Thank you for inviting me. Yes.
So please tell us more about Upfront before we kick off our show.
Upfront is a show that broadcasts on the Voice of America. We broadcast to the whole of the African continent, especially Sub-Saharan Africa. Our target are mostly young students, young adults, people just starting out in their careers. And again, just like your show, we're trying to tell a different side of Africa that is not necessarily known to the Western media, or that is often, glossed over by everybody else. And we provide a platform where young people talk about their aspirations, their dreams, their purpose in life. But enough about me. I want to hear more about you and your award-winning show right now.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the award.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell us about the award.
Yes, this is just, how do I even explain this? It's just mind-blowing. I guess there's so much truth in being able to tell our own story. And
Awesome. So let's check out your speech that you had at the award.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, let's check it out.
By 2050, the continent will have the largest number of young people. I believe that the fact that we have the youngest population alive in Africa should be a powerful thing. Never before has the world ever seen this amount of creators and innovators rising up, both from the diaspora and back home. The vision of my media brand, TANTV, is to use multimedia formats to tell socially impactful stories. Without PGCTV giving me this opportunity, the dream of producing a program that makes an impact in the world would only have just been just a dream. So I just want to say that this is just the beginning. Thank you so much.
That was Adedayo giving a speech at the award ceremony. Adedayo, this is such a beautiful trophy. So proud of you for having. What does this mean to you?
It means everything. It's not a one-man effort. It's a teamwork.
Absolutely.
Just to have all of you guys, my co-hosts, the guests come together. I think I am just blown away by the way we're able to collaborate. To when I invite guests, it's so open to come on this show and just tell us about their story. So it's so important that we express our own narrative.
Absolutely,
right?
and that's why we're here today. And what is the show today about?
It's about creatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So So we have some creative talents in the house today. And they're two motivational and inspirational music artists who have a new single called Self-Love. The Afrobeat music has very uplifting lyrics. We will have a sit down, but first, a live performance in the studio. So let's give it up for D.I. Star and Shar.
Let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Isn't it a beautiful journey?
Yeah,
Self-love. A beautiful journey.
Let's go. Come on. Say, yeah. Oh, nah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Come on, audience.
Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Love the energy.
Ooh. D.I.A. Show them more. Word. Show them more, tell them more. Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Isn't that the truth?
Ooh,
self-love is a beautiful journey.
Yeah. Show them more, tell them more. Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Hey.
Ooh, yeah.
No limits, straight to the top. Spending hours of my life, but I refuse to stop. Got back stronger, wiser, ready to rock. Divine queen, beast mode, finally unlocked. The moment I stop giving people power over my life is the moment that everything started to fall right. I'm no longer a prisoner, I'm mentally over the pain. Using my gifts to create
my own lane.
Feel feeling, willing, ever evolving, living, chilling. Got his vibes only, I stay winning. I gotta become a better me so I can share the knowledge and uplift kings and queens. We all can be great, you just have to believe. And it took me a while to become the woman that you see. I had to change my mindset, had to step up my faith. I had to learn to say no, forgive my old mistakes. Now I'm shining my magic, hey, owning my light. Island guys, slaying every goal in sight. I'm just living life boldly, representing proudly, learning, growing. Come on, shot. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Hey, what? Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Yeah. Shout them all, tell them all. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Yeah. Shout them all, tell them all. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Ooh,
Get it.
yeah. I say, hey, time me not there for a darling. Yeah. Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Let them know.
I said, time me not there for waiting. Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey. Say I'm feeling the vibe, the feeling is right, the spirit is right. Say I'm gonna shine, you gonna shine, we are the light. Come on, I said rock your body, yeah. I go spray you money, yeah. Shout them all, tell them all. Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Yeah. Shout them all, tell them all. Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Let them know, Queen.
Bless up.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's such a great performance, guys. Beautiful. Shadell Moore is a multi-talented motivational entertainer and entrepreneur. She's an award-winning television personality, international motivational speaker, poet, creative director, and rising artist. Shadell is blazing a new trail of positive entertainment and empowering people all over the globe.
Nigerian-born Daniel Isele popularly known as D.I. Star, is one of the foremost multi-talented artists and entrepreneur in the diaspora music industry. He is the CEO of D.I. Productions and Audio-Visual Solutions Company. So guys, oh my God!
Great energy. So how long have you guys been performing together?
Oh my gosh, like literally in the last couple of months.
Right.
The chemistry is great.
Yeah,
it is
Love
great.
it. The song is beautiful. Tell us a little bit about the song. Love,
Self-love is a beautiful journey.
Right.
You know, the journey of self-love requires inner revolution. And I had to really start to work on my mindset and build my spirituality and really work on me. Because a lot of times we're always searching for outside forces to validate us and not realizing the real work is the internal.
Starts from you.
It starts
as a
from
person.
you.
Right.
And I originally wrote the song as a poem because I come from that poetry aspect. But God brings people in your life for a reason. And D.I. and I connected while I was a TV anchor at Fox 45 in Baltimore. Had no idea that I would even venture into music.
Right.
And he was like, you know, you should come to the studio because he saw one of my poems that I posted on Instagram. And I'm like, sure. So I was just expecting to just come to the studio and record my poetry on clear audio. I had no idea that it
was a
would
beat,
lead.
everything,
So, wow.
production.
So this has created what was just to be a read into like a full-on
Absolutely.
single.
Right,
So tell us about your creative process. You have a production company. How did you even get started? I mean, this is we're focused on creatives.
Yeah.
And you two are creative
Serial
artists.
creatives.
Yeah.
Well, for me,
Multi-dimensional.
I'm a serial creative, and I've been a musician all my life. And for the past 26 years, I've been full-time in the music. But 2013, I got a scholarship from Richard Branson to go do entrepreneurship in South Africa because I lived in South Africa. I schooled there, you know. So when I went to that business school, that was where my journey started. So I believe.
Wait, Richard Branson, the Richard Branson?
Right,
You
right.
just wrote them drop and just walked away from that.
Right. Richard Branson.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that was how I started my brand, DI Production.
Wow.
But I've been a talented musician. I play drums, piano, bass, I write, produce. But that opportunity actually put me on a platform to understand the value of personal development and creating the importance of systems. I'm talking about business system and being more compliant within your creativity, you know, because you can be talented, but if you don't have support, sometimes you can attain value, you know. So going to that school really helped shape my capabilities and everything, and that was how DI Production started.
What is it about Shadell that felt that there would be a connection there?
Okay, I've known Shadell for like 2 years now. One day I just got on Instagram and I saw her. I knew her as a TV anchor, so I saw her like do a thing. I'm like,
there's something here.
I'm like, I was listening to what she's saying because for me, I believe so much in positive message. You know what I mean?
And the lyrics is actually what got
So
me.
when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? This
need to
is
be on the track.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm like, come through then. Let's
so
make
when
it.
did you start defining yourself as a motivational entertainer? Is that it?
Yes, because I'm a serial creative. Poetry, television, producing, modeling. I've always been a creative since like my entire life. But what I've noticed, the stuff that really ignites me is motivational content. Like I love telling inspirational stories. I'm a motivational speaker. Even when I do TV, it's always positive content. And I'm like, how can I just put everything together? And I'm like, I'm just gonna brand myself as a motivational entertainer because I'm an entertainer. I do many aspects, but my realm is through motivation.
You feel so natural, like singing. It feels like you've been doing it for such a long time.
It's crazy. It's
though.
crazy, but it's so funny how life is. Because every single day after I would get off work at the TV station, I would go home and I would write poetry and I would dance for hours. That was like my outlet.
Sing in the shower.
Like literally, and I would read motivational books, and I would be so like. I was so into elevating my human consciousness, but I had no idea that God was preparing me for this.
And this is a journey you're
and this is a
embarked on
journey.
right now.
Yeah, because a few months ago, I left my job. Full-time job as, a TV anchor. And I just felt like I had to jump. I had to make the decision to jump. And,
And what is it like being a creative in the diaspora?
Wow. To be a creative in the diaspora, it's a reflection of us. it's a reflection of who we are as African people. And Africans, we are so multidimensional. Me having many aspects is just part of my blood and part of my ancestry.
Part of your DNA.
Part of my DNA.
Yeah.
So a show like this that really showcases the beauty, the creativity of Africans doing their thing, it's monumental, because that's how D.I. and I came together, because of the passion that we have with art.
I mean, it's so your journey is so inspirational, I think, and there's so much to be said about just creativity in itself. So how would you define creativity?
For me, I think creativity is shaping your capabilities and being innovative about it, because sometimes the only thing that can limit you is your own idea. So I always say creative people, no matter how creative you are, you know, don't be like stereotype, be flexible, find new ways to express your creativity, because as such, you're going to see yourself grow personally and beyond. So for me, the beauty of creativity for me is when you have a synergy of all your capability and define yourself and define your aspirations and go for it, no limits, you know what I'm saying?
Shadell and D.I. Stars, we're coming to the end of this segment. I wanted, what can you say, just give a word of inspiration to young people who are probably trying to embark on this?
Absolutely. I would say that each and every one of us has a divine capability, and the only person who could stop you from succeeding is yourself. Don't let anybody put you in a box and try to dictate your capabilities when your gifts and strengths was given to you by God.
Absolutely.
You have a TV background. I want to touch on that a little bit quick. So your TV background is, tell us your journey. How did you get started on TV and all that? And then
to make it really short. Okay, so after college, I started interning at BET. They hired me as a production assistant. After I left BET and did a job in sales, and I was hosting an online Caribbean music show. And this was in 2012. I said, I'm gonna leave my job in sales. I'm gonna focus on television full time. I did not have a job lined up. I had heart. I had hustle. And so for 2 years, I freelanced in DC. I worked in radio for $8 an hour. I hosted a show for free, did digital media, and did that.
Let us watch a reel. Say no more. Let's watch a reel of you at work.
Hey guys, I'm Charlotte Moore, and welcome to Be More Lifestyle. You guys already know I have a pretty cool job, and guess what we're doing today? We are hanging out at Horseshoe Casino, and joining me today is the fabulous GM, Aaron, to tell us more. What's up, Aaron? How you doing? Whoa. Okay, guys, this is a little bit harder than I thought. Oh my God. So you're gonna teach me how to get fit.
We're gonna teach you how to get fit.
This is good for your butt.
And we're gonna come up and kick. Oh, it's fabulous for your butt. Butt and your quads.
Yes! Look at me! Being able to use your voice, your talent, your expression to empower so many people. When was that moment that you really got your calling in life and you said, you know what, this is what I want to do? As women, we know it's so important to go to the gyno, but a lot of times we don't do that. Why is that?
Super
good.
Yes. That's what we were going for.
If you were to order the rib cap, would you go medium rare, medium well, or well done?
Medium well. I'm a medium well girl. I'm sorry. Rare all the way. Medium well rare. You are such an inspiration, so just keep up the phenomenal work because you're truly inspiring women all over the world. And remember, the joy is in the journey. This is just the beginning. Thank you for chatting, y'all.
Oh, I love that.
The joy is in the journey.
So that's amazing. Like really amazing. Final word from you guys before we close out this segment. Daniel.
Yeah, for me, I think my advice to people, it doesn't matter where you're from, you know, and no matter where you're from, always, you know, go for your dreams and your aspiration, but beyond passion, always look for support and relationships that you can invest time into. And one more last thing, personal development is the key to growth.
What about what about you,
Personal
Shadell?
development is the key to growth, and use your creativity to impact humanity in some type of dimension.
Amazing, amazing work.
Good energy, right?
Yes.
I gotta come back.
Thank you, Shadell and Dista, for sharing with us your art, your talent, and your journey. We wish you the very best. And thank you, Adedaya, for having me on the sit with you.
Yeah, coming up next, we are going to meet another African creative. He's an award-winning cinematographer. Stay tuned.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Africa's Triumph. Africa's Triumph is a show where we uncover some of the continent's best at the top of their fields.
Still on the theme of being an African creative, we have a guest who is winning in the area of commercial cinematography. Wale Olawoyin is an award-winning cinematographer, realtor, and the founder of Champion Studios, a well-known multimedia production company.
Just at the young age of 11, Wale developed a strong passion for computers. A true entrepreneur, Wale taught himself through videos and built his first computer at the age of 14. Wow. That's very impressive, man.
At the age of 14?
Yes.
Can you just tell us about that?
So when I came to the United States, I've never touched a computer before. And when I got to the house, I broke down the computer, and it was my job to fix it up. I was in trouble. I had to fix it up, and that was back in the days of dial-up. So so I had to fix it up, and I just learned one or two things from there. Then I started, just breaking things, and before you know it, I gained enough skills to build my own.
And that's where your passion was born.
Yes, that's where my passion was born.
Wow. Yeah. You are really like on the top list, one of the very best cinematographers we have here. Every occasion, Wale is there covering it. Tell us
Wale
about
is the man.
It is. Tell us about being behind the cameras, behind the scenes. How did you get creative? Like, what inspired your creativity?
Well, I think one of the most important things for me is consistency. For example, when I started, it was about 5 of us, and not everybody continued, or let me say, not everybody grew as I did, because I kept doing what I was doing, and I kept getting creative by practicing every day.
Did you go to school for it?
No, I didn't go to school for it.
So you're all self-taught?
University of YouTube.
That's amazing.
That's the school.
That's University of YouTube.
University of YouTube.
Wow. And that's the thing about African creatives these days. They don't have access to the knowledge and the wealth and the schools and the universities, but YouTube and the internet.
I learned more on YouTube than anywhere else.
Yeah, you have a studio actually, but we're going to talk more about that. Let's watch a reel from your work.
Okay.
I am inspired.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. There's such a diversity of work what are some of the projects that you've worked on? I saw Wizkid in there. I saw music videos you shot.
Yes.
What are some of the projects that you usually go for?
So we started as a music video production company, and we've grown to work with a lot of corporates now, and now we're getting to the government space. So being an African creative, it was very difficult because I'm in a culture that I didn't understand. So the first thing I had to do was learn the American culture and then learn how business is done in the American world.
Yeah. And then with your, you have a new studio. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we just opened our first production studio.
Yeah.
It's located, thank you. It's located in Laham, Maryland. In the next year, we're looking to expand to a full-blown warehouse.
And what does the studio do? What do you do in the
studio?
So
we offer multimedia production services, videography, events coverage, photography, web designing, everything in the multimedia space.
So some of the challenges you've faced, can you just give us highlights of the challenges and trials you've you know.
For you to be where you are right now.
I think for any startup, there's always going to be financial challenges. So let's not talk about that. I think one of the biggest challenges is people accepting what I do and respecting what I do. From my culture, when they see with a camera, they're just like, oh, that's, you know, it's not, they don't really respect our business until you make it to somewhere that we're like, oh, whoa, you can make this much from this business. So a lot of people don't know that there's actually a big future into this business.
I've been told that Nigerian parents more so are very tough on their kids. They, you know, when they see.
So Jackson is from, how is it?
I'm from East Africa.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
from Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Right.
How is it like?
But you know, we've been told that Nigerian parents are very strict on their kids to be lawyers and doctors.
Yes. So
how do you go? How do you convince them that this is a line of work that you want?
I went to Harvard University, and I do have a degree in computer information systems. Because I'm an IT guy. But my parents gave me the freedom to be wherever I want to be. They just said, finish school and do whatever you want to do.
Same, I was meant to be a doctor, so here I am. You know? So, I mean, this is really just inspirational. What are some of the triumphs you've experienced?
Some of the milestones, some of the things that you've done that.
So about 4 years ago, I got a call randomly from a guy and he said, hey, you know, I'm known. I've been on BT, MTV, everywhere. I want to work with you, Wale. And I said, okay, no problem. Before you know it, I have videos all over BT, MTV, MSNBC.
Wow.
That was so huge. And before you know it, I started working with Coca-Cola, Consolidated. Now we're working with a lot of companies in the DMV area, and next year we're going to working with the government as well.
Awesome. I have to say, Wale is a young guy. Tell us your age.
I'm just 27.
Awesome, man.
Even though I look older than I am.
Very well accomplished. Like, I wanted to just, because I didn't believe your age when I was like, wow, he's young. It's amazing. You've been doing this for a while, and we're so like, I mean, we're rooting for you. I want to see more. I've worked with you. I'm like this. I'm happy to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here.
So, well, thank you for joining.
And that's it for our show today. Thank you very much, Wale, for such a great work that you do.
Thank you.
And Adedayo, thank you for inviting me to co-host the show with you.
Thank you for being a great co-host.
I appreciate that.
Yes, well, we've had a great show today. We thank our inspiring guests for being here. We also want to thank our sponsors for their support.
We hope that you have had such fun as we did. We leave you with the music video of Dista and Shadonell, Self-Love. Check it out. And bye for now.
Self-love is a beautiful journey. A beautiful journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, nah. Yeah. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Word. D.I. ain't sure them more. Word. Show them more, tell them more. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show them all, tell them all. Self-love is a beautiful journey. Ooh, yeah, tell them.
No cap, no limit. limits, straight to the top. Took many L's in my life, but I refuse to stop. Got back stronger, wiser, ready to rock. Divine queen, beast mode, finally alive. The moment I stopped giving people power over my life is the moment that everything started to fall right. I'm no longer a prisoner, I'm mentally over the pain. Using my gifts to create my own lane. Feel healing, willing, ever evolving, living, chilling. Got his vibes only, I stay winning. I gotta become a better me so I can share the knowledge and uplift kings and queens. We all can be great, you just have to believe. And it took me a while.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.